Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch from Crime Talk, and thanks for watching. First on the docket, Lori Vallow, a little more insight into her deceptions. Second, Ghislaine Maxwell, arrested. Next, Vanessa Guillen case update. And finally, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch from Crime Talk, and thanks for watching. Please, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so that you receive notifications of when we go live or put up new content. And as always, leave us a comment below. First on the docket, Lori Vallow. New details have emerged, obviously, through the affidavits that have been released in the last couple of days. And it appears as though in the affidavit that investigators released recently, it states that Vallow had told a friend that she had convinced JJ's grandmother to watch him by telling her that she had cancer. Friend Melanie Gibb told investigators that Vallow had told her she had arranged for JJ to go live with their grandma, Kay Woodcock. As you may recall, it was actually Kay Woodcock who ultimately wound up making a missing persons report. Gibb told investigators that Vallow had engaged in an elaborate cover story that she actually traveled with JJ and handed JJ off to Kay Woodcock at an airport. The pieces, ladies and gentlemen, for a homicide are coming together. Be patient. Next on the docket, Ghislaine Maxwell arrested. You may say, who the heck is Ghislaine Maxwell? Well, she is the, former British socialite and former Jeffrey Epstein confidant who helped, allegedly, get young women for Jeffrey Epstein. It is alleged in an 18-page indictment that Miss Maxwell participated in the sexual abuse of underage girls with Mr. Epstein. It's also alleged that she groomed these young individuals so that they can be exploited by Mr. Epstein. Now, the significance of Miss Maxwell's arrest is that nobody seemed to know exactly where she was. We reported that there were information indicating that she was in New Zealand as of last week on a boat owned by her father, British media mogul Robert Maxwell. Miss Maxwell was to appear in a courtroom late Thursday afternoon for an original appearance. They will set the matter for a detention hearing, and the government will seek detention. What does that mean? It means they want her to stay in custody. What's the significance of that? People don't like to be in custody. People will probably make a deal with the government to get out of custody as quickly as they can. And then the question becomes, does Miss Maxwell have all these secrets that nobody wanted anyone to discuss? And the obvious question that must be asked is, where will Miss Maxwell be housed, and will they have a better security system than they did for Jeffrey Epstein? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. A quick recess. We've talked about this before, and I'm telling you, everyone needs to be able to do a background search on anyone they want. Well, if you go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, you can do that. If you've ever wanted to just look into somebody's background out of curiosity, now you can do so anonymously. And what that anonymous search allows you to do is to search literally millions of public records across the United States. And when a report is generated, you will receive information regarding social media postings, email addresses, property records, bankruptcy, criminal histories, sex offender registration, all the things you probably would want to know if you're going to be involved in someone, whether business or personal relationships. Go to CrimeTalkSearch.com, sign up for a subscription. You will be satisfied. Next on the docket, the case of Vanessa Guillen, the unidentified remains of whom authorities believe are that, in fact, of Vanessa Guillen, have been located near Leon River in Texas. The Army Criminal Investigation Division, apparently after receiving additional information, discovered what has been described as partial human remains after an analysis from a forensic anthropologist. These remains were found near Fort Hood military base, and it came just days after the Guillen family announced that they were seeking a congressional investigation into the disappearance of their 20-year-old daughter. Now, originally, the Guillen family and their family attorney had stated that Ms. Guillen had complained to family members about being the victim of a sexual harassment on the base, but no complaints were ever made out of fear of retaliation. And recently, there were no credible reports of any type of sexual harassment or assault against Ms. Guillen. However, late yesterday, the Guillen family attorney provided additional details regarding the death of the Fort Hood soldier. The attorney stated that the remains were found earlier this week in a shallow grave. According to the family attorney, she met with U.S. Army criminal investigators earlier in the week. She stated that human remains were found in a shallow grave close to the Leon River in Texas. Apparently, CID had told the attorney that the evidence they had against a junior soldier, an individual by the name of Aaron Robinson, dated back to the day when Guillen disappeared after a witness spotted him in an armory parking lot. Robinson's girlfriend, a Cecilia Aguilar, the estranged wife of a Fort Hood soldier, was apparently also involved. And we'll give everyone the presumption of innocence as it relates to this case, as we always do on Crime Talk. But apparently, Robinson was not the person who called Guillen into work on her day off on April 22nd, the last day that she was seen alive. But he's the one responsible for killing her, according to the family attorney. When Guillen arrived at work, Robinson was already inside the armory room working. Guillen reportedly spotted photos of Aguilar on his phone and confronted him about having an affair with someone married to a former soldier. At that point, an argument ensued, and Robinson allegedly told Guillen that he wouldn't let her ruin his military career. He then allegedly grabbed a hammer and bludgeoned her to death. Apparently, there was blood all over the armory room floor. Robinson then hid Guillen's body in a Pelican case, stored it to the side of the armory room, then left the base to buy supplies. He returned that evening, apparently, and took the case to the Leon River area. It's alleged that Robinson determined that he couldn't dispose of Guillen himself and in turn contacted Aguilar and asked her to help. Both Robinson and Aguilar then used a machete to hack Guillen's body apart. They used cement to encase her body parts and get rid of the evidence. Vanessa Guillen's sister, Myra, was arriving at the base while was looking for her sister. They were dismembering her body. It's alleged that after leaving the scene, the suspects threw the machete, hammer, and Guillen's cell phone from a car window. It's alleged that although witnesses saw Robinson leaving the base on April 22nd with a Pelican case, no warrants were taken out until after investigators found the remains. Apparently, the bludgeoning was so bad that Miss Guillen had to be identified using dental records. Many questions still remain. Specifically, how did the suspects manage to cover up an armory room full of blood? Based upon certain timelines that have been given, he would have had to have done everything within roughly 45 minutes. We will have to wait and see, and we'll continue to follow this case. Unfortunately, it ended poorly, as so many missing person cases do. Let's take a quick recess. Ladies and gentlemen, we've received lots of requests for people to sponsor our show. But one of the things we're going to do is look for products that actually are going to make our community of Crime Talk viewers safer. And one of the items that was presented to us that I really like is a safety siren, okay? This thing is small enough. It can fit on a backpack. It can fit on a purse. It can fit in your pocket. And guess what? Most people aren't going to be carrying firearms with them. Some people don't want to carry firearms. But guess what will do just as good? This. That's right. What do people not want if they're going to do something bad? A lot of attention. Well, this little bad boy, when you pull the pin, produces 1,000 decibel alarm. Hold on, but let me show you how loud it can be. I'm warning you. You think that'll get somebody's attention? You think that'll make somebody run like hell? Absolutely. Go to CrimeTalkOffers.com and get your safety siren. This thing could save your life. You'll be happy you had it. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. And today, we have not one, but two dumb criminals who will obviously be given the presumption of innocence, but their names are Sandra Cruz and Wilson Benally. Well, apparently Mr. Benally and Miss Cruz were at the Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Utah. And apparently there was a wedding taking place. And these two people were so excited for the wedding that they weren't invited to, that let's just say they were engaging in fornication outside on the front lawn. And if you're going to do something like that, you probably want to be a little discreet about it. Because if you're not, guess what? Children attending the wedding could see you engaging in these acts of fornication. And that's what happened on this particular day. When officers arrived, they found Mr. Benally engaged in fornication with Miss Cruz on the lawn. And apparently the officer literally had to pry the two apart because they did not respond to his requests to stop. And it appeared as though Mr. Benally had his tongue as well as some digits inside of various orifices of Miss Cruz. Both were arrested on counts of gross lewdness and public intoxication. Now, going back to the jail will be nothing for Mr. Benally, as he has 102 prior arrests with the Salt Lake City lockup. Miss Cruz, not as frequent as the flyer of Mr. Benally, only has 15 visits there previously. So, Sandra Cruz, Mr. Benally, you are our dumb criminal contestants of the week. And as always, we like to throw in a little teachable moment here. If you're going to engage in acts of fornication, please don't do it in public where small children attending weddings will see. Do you know how awkward that is? People will then have to explain stuff to their kids. Really, that's why you're the dumb criminal contestants, Miss Cruz and Mr. Benally. All right. That's all we have for today. Want to let you know we put up some new gear at our Teespring site. Hit the link below and you can get some new mugs and some new merchandise if you'd like to do so. Once again, I want to thank all of our Patreons who joined us the other night. And I'm telling you, we're working on some new stuff. So next week when we do our live, you all can hopefully give us a ring. We'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Crime Talk.